Well, Carly, how you doing?
Today is better.
Today is better?
Yeah.
That's good. That's the first
That's and my problem is then I'm like, I'm better, and then I get worse because
oh. Is
I'm
s do you know what it is? I mean, is it COVID or something like that?
I don't know. I think it's the flu. I didn't test for anything.
Ah,
And
because
I
good.
uh the problem was is that I was in the middle of traveling just as I caught it. So I was like walking a lot, being very tired, not eating well, in the air, flights, jet lag, and
Uh,
so if I had probably been at home and it would have been fine.
a
But
classic thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch.
So I've
Mm,
never had
Oh,
something.
I didn't realize this was a steering committee chairs meeting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we changed it over and the vibes went out and you just appeared, Scott. It was really cool. Yeah.
Which
But
reminds me, I guess I do need to get this email out to the steering committee. Uh, there is a list, I guess a mailing list that I can send out. Yeah.
yep.
For
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, okay, I'll do that.
I can ease it for you by because I have it. I can stick a
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
I was stuck on a call.
Oh, Daryl, you shouldn't have joined. This is just for Trust over IP steering committee chairs.
yeah.
Gotta go.
No, 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 don't let them get away.
You still got your Christmas stuff up there, Carly.
I know.
Just
I know.
be like
When's the
Elsa. Be
official date? I'm thinking it's latest Friday tomorrow because we have people out there, and then it becomes, passé.
I kind of feel like I missed Christmas, so I'm still in the mood. I'm it's petering out slowly.
cool. So I'm not sure this can be much of a meeting. We haven't got we're still under public review, so there's not a lot to hammer through unless someone wants to dive into things like charcoal and whatnot, but I have no particular agenda items.
Well,
um,
we are one thing that we can just briefly talk about is the assistance that you guys, that this group can have to the COG Trust Registry task force.
Right.
I think there's interest there, certainly interest in, this is an opportunity to kind of get into a little bit more of a mainstream active things. You have industries coming to that meeting looking for a solution, and you have an existing one, the press industry that already has a trust registry that um, is not, it's not really conformant to anything. So,
Yeah.
I think that they're open to try to do that. If we can get the IPTC in eventually, if we get that going, I
Is the
can then talk.
IPTC that press group you were talking about?
Yeah, the
Okay.
International Press Telecom. It's um, it's established. It's well understood. Basically, it's just a series of organizational X509 certificates. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Cool.
So that a validator that's checking against it will check against the trust registry to see, and it'll flag it in its validation and now I mean, it's becoming hot. I mean, it's today's news. I mean, there was this picture that came out with Maduro being, pulled off the plane. It was AI generated and, caused a lot of stink and all
So
that.
you mean he wasn't actually dancing as well? He wasn't.
Oh God. And it's interesting because Google, the Google products are going to have content credentials. I mean, that's what I'm working with. There's tons of Google
Yeah.
products that are there, and there's more on the list, and blah blah blah. So we're close. We're close.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the year that trust registries need to come out of
Yep.
out of hiding.
The
Yep.
year of the
So
Linux
I guess the
desktop.
What was
Hmm?
that? Sorry, Carly?
Sorry, I love the year of the Linux desktop.
Oh, I
It's
thought you said the year of the set-top box.
no,
Uh,
it's the year of the Linux desktop this year, I swear.
Okay.
No,
Yet
that's
again,
me
yet
being a
again.
bit, yeah. I do hope that trust registries become more of a thing, and
Yeah.
uh, and I'd like
Yeah.
to contribute with training stuff. I think that
Cool.
would.
Yeah. So Scott, I attended the COG call. A
Yeah.
couple different thoughts. One, the Trust Rescue Query Protocol seems to, well, what I heard from the business discussions that were there, seems to be ready to support their needs. Two, I was very happy to hear people talking about the business problems, not the weenie details of the tech. I was very, very happy to hear. So, I can't remember who the individual was who said, we have 100,000 artists ready to go on this. I'm not sure what group that was. The
Yeah. So
question to me,
you got press, music, and
creators,
actors. Okay, all
right?
represented.
Yeah,
And I'm chasing all three of them.
right. The question in my mind is who is the right group to be pursuing that? I mean, TRQ, Terrestrial Task Force, is about the protocol. It's not about doing the work to adapt the protocol. It's not about doing the outreach and business development to deal with an IPTC, other creative artists. Well, the wrong term. The actors and musicians and whatnot. Um, but who is? That's
Well,
part of the
more so the
question. Is
Trust Registry Task Force.
in what way? Because the Trust Task Force is about developing the ability to promulgate trust registries. It's not about developing your trust registry.
Well,
Like that's
what
the
we need, okay, well, I'll tell you what I need, and then you figure out
yeah,
because maybe we develop something. Because we need a structure, kind of a template,
yep,
right? So the query protocol is important because you need to get the elements to communicate back and forth, right?
yep,
So,
yep,
that was the easiest way I could get you in is we
yep,
need the elements and that would add to the spec.
yep,
Then we need to come up with a generic way that the press and the music industry and the actors and, can address two areas that COG is very strong on. One is identity and the other is metadata. And basically, with those two things, there's so much meat in that, so many use cases, and I wanted it to be more than just the press because the press is out there,
yep,
it's satisfying itself. They're not sitting on any generic standard. That's why I pulled Charlie Halford in, very brilliant guy from the BBC. And we need to have some kind of standardization amongst all industries around what are the fields, just like we've done, at the meta data, the meta model and all that. What
yep,
is the key fields that absolutely need to be in trust registries? And how do we accommodate you know, um, industry specific that we do not want to promulgate as a requirement.
right.
So we
So
need
part of
both.
the yep. So part of the task force in the past, at least, I mean, things can always change. Um, has had to, in some ways, punt the work on the term we were using before was implementation guides. Like, here's the work you need to do if you're the system of record for IPTC. Here's the work you need to do to expose your information via the Trustworthy Query Protocol, as an example. That was punted. One of the things that IRA took on. So, putting on my IRA hat, we are doing that work at IRA right now with members to say, hey, listen, what do you got? What is in your system of record? Do that spelunking to say, you already have the business answer. You can tell me today if I phone you who is and who is not in your system. You can do that. How do you do that via TRQP? What do you need to know? What are your levels of assurance? Do you have them? You guys are formal, which is exciting about COG. That's awesome. You guys are doing levels of assurance. What are the things that you are authoritative for? That's where we just build the inventory of what are the actions and resources that are in, and then who are the entities. It's actually quite easy to do. The caution I would throw is the term you used of generic. There is no generic right now. We don't have enough exemplars to say, here's the pattern or here's the 3 patterns that exist. So it's
Well,
going to be
that's
some
why
work.
we have a task force. We need to, what would be?
See, that I fully disagree with that right now because to
Okay, it's
date,
too
at least,
variable. Okay.
it's not too variable. To date, the group that's been doing this work is too academic. It's not practitioner level. If we had enough examples, if we'd gone through 10 to 20 examples, which is one of the things that I've committed IRA to do, which is this, is do the work at IRA, but share the results and the patterns via Trust over IP as implementation guides with related to TRQP. In that we build them at IRA, meet our own selfish needs, which we have to do, but open that up and do it in an open way, but then hand that over for something that could live potentially at Trust over IP instead, because IRA's done the basic work, and who else can do the other work and make it better? The practitioner side of things is something that I think we can get going on. I would like to throw some IRA members at it. Like, for
I,
example, sorry, Carly.
yeah, I think there's actually a great opportunity here. Linux Foundation has courses. And I think we could work with the Linux Foundation to develop a course for the implementation of trust registries. Linux Foundation, I think, would really like it because then they can, that's part of their thing is certifications and training for products. And
Yep,
and then from that, we would encourage that, we could encourage best practices by teaching people about best
yep,
practices
yep.
and direct people to all of the specifications related to trust registries.
Now,
And
that's a really good idea. Question for you.
yeah,
As a volunteer at Trust over IP, there's no way in hell I can do that.
yeah, yeah,
As a
yeah,
partner, IRA, as a partner of LF Trust over IP,
yeah,
probably can do that.
yeah.
Is that palatable?
Okay, you know what? Let's talk to Linux Foundation to see what the
Yep.
resources are.
Yeah. Is it LF? Is it LFDT? I mean, either way, I know
Uh,
Jim and I know Daniela both well. So,
yeah, I would ask Daniela
yeah.
about
Okay.
that because they are interested in certifications, and I think that would be a really awesome output from Trust over IP, however we want to define it,
Yeah.
because
Well, and that's one of the
people
goals that
need,
we have
yeah,
is that IRA is very closely related to Trust over IP. We are, I've used the phrase, and I'm not sure if it's crass or if it's quite appropriate. We are operationalizing what Trust over IP has been doing. We are our IRA and our members are the practitioners who were doing the work to say, great, here's the TRQP, here's the other specs, go.
and Linux Foundation via first person project or whatever, Drummond, because in the meeting yesterday, you were talking about the trust registries that you need to set up in order to do the kernel vetting, right?
Well, there would be the kernel vetting would involve one, and it's not a large scale implementation for what they need, but yeah, they're gonna need something.
Yeah, but that's a second use case of somebody who
Yep.
needs to go through a guide to set up a trust registry that can inform the education module.
I agree with all that except for the go through a guide because what you're talking about there is the Linux kernel developers. They're not going to go through a guide. They're just going to do it.
No, they're gonna do it,
Yeah.
but well, frankly, they should. They're
Well, actually, okay,
you
you
do
have
need
a
some best practices, like
you have a point in that the goal of that project is not just to solve the problem for the Linux kernel. It is to set a
a
well,
standard of the right way to do it.
it's not just a standard. They literally want it to be the the model for
Yeah.
how all Linux open source
Yeah.
projects. Now, here's the thing: is we might just be a little bit ahead of ourselves, although the planning process for putting this in place might take a while, because for the rest of the Linux-based open source projects, Linux kernel-based open source projects, they're going to want to take the step of integrating with with LFX, their platform. And so
Yeah.
therefore the guide would end up being, well, this is how you do this with LFX, because they will have automated. I think, Daryl, they're going to
Yeah.
end out having a process. Now,
Yeah,
but
But generically, we can talk about it without getting into the details because you're
That's-
gonna
yeah,
have
yeah,
because
that
the
would be true.
it's the patterns that we want to expose,
Yeah.
right? It's not the, hey, this is how Greg did it at Linux kernel.
Yeah.
Here's how LFX did it. But they may
Zero to
be really good
considerations.
exemplars saying, hey, I am a member-based organization and we have a system. Here's the key things we had to do. We had to figure out do we have assurance levels? Yes or no? Great. What DIT methods are we using? Great. What are we authoritative for, in our opinion?
I would like
The-
to
the-
help with this.
Yeah.
Let's set up a meeting. I think the next step is to set up a meeting with Daniela to find
Yeah.
out what their interest is.
Yep.
Drummond, is there
Perfect.
anyone else from Linux Foundation that's doing the kernel thing that might want to participate in that as well?
Um,
Too
I
early?
would say what Danielle will want is to have Hart there, and Hart will help figure that out. A trust registry is not his main focus, but he knows we have to have him. And then and her interest will be there because she knows the next step when we have the LF member summit meetings there. We've moved from theory into implementation, and I think they're going to want to have another workshop like the one we had the last one.
Yeah.
And this will be a topic there. So she'll want to line up LFX people to, or get to Jim Zeman to line up LFX people to participate.
Which will also begin to expose, because right now that project is very technical focused. What it will also do is start to elevate the governance aspects of it. Meaning,
Absolutely.
Scott would look at what they're doing going, that's purely technical. There is no governance. It's informal. They've had a web of trust approach, a circle of trust approach for many, many, many years that's working. That's a one-off. The underlying, how did you get there and why did you do thing X? That's where their governance needs to be. And their stakeholders, the biggest organizations who are members of LF, need to see that in the time. Not right away, but in time, they definitely need to see that.
So who wants to join a meeting next week and try and get a meeting set up with Daniela towards the end of the week?
I was good until you said the last part, end of the week. I am
Oh,
flying to Switzerland Thursday, and Friday is shot to hell.
Shit. Friday's always a nice. Okay.
I could do Friday later morning Pacific, early afternoon Pacific, which would be your late afternoon Eastern.
How long are you going to be in Switzerland, Daryl?
I'm there for tentatively for a week. I might shorten it depending on whether I don't arrive until Friday evening.
Oh, I see.
Where are you?
I arrive Friday evening. And then Tuesday is the event
but
day.
not muted.
Oh, Davos is that following
Can anyone
week.
hear Daryl?
Sorry?
Yeah, I can hear Daryl.
Yeah, we can hear
You're not-
you.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear anyone. So this is my problem.
I can hear him.
So
We can hear you.
Will has joined.
And
so
now
I was
have
keeping on
things
alert
that
mode
I'm
there for
figuring out
guys.
things.
That's
Well,
all good.
just briefly, we
Can somebody
were,
talk? Let me see if I have
talking
any-
about the trust registry and the COG. So you were obviously involved with that as well. And the suggestion by Carly came to that we need to come up with a standard, some way to get consistency around how trust registries are built. And the idea is to come up with some kind of training that LF can deliver around trust registries. And so we're trying to set up a meeting with the LFDT for that.
Well, training question I was like, is there a set of requirements that these are the basic rudiments of a trust registry? Looks like a duck,
Right.
walks like a duck.
That's what I hope we would pull out of this trust registry task force, especially for COG, but we're going in this direction. I do think we need to have that, and that's why I needed assistance in the trust registry task force under COG, is to say what are the required elements, and how can you structure the flexible elements that are not required, but other industries would want to bring, because they're going to bring all kinds of things. And so how do we come up with a way that everything is the same, that needs to be the same, and flexible data can be added in the places that would not conflicate the whole thing.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
other one of the terms we're using with our members right now at IRA, again, this is me wearing two different hats, is that trust registries, generally speaking, aren't built. You already have 95 to 99 point something percent of the work done. For example, if you're maintaining an X509 tree with governance, you probably have most of the work. It's just I have to learn X509 and expose and understand your exact decisions. When all I want is an answer, is that entity authorized, yes or no? Adding the trustworthy query protocol is measured in hours, days, not weeks, months. So we've actually had a group do it literally in an afternoon. They're like, oh, yeah, we already manage all of who the issues are, what they have, what they're allowed to do, what their levels of assurance, what their DID method is. It took an afternoon to add that on. They already had all the answers. The comment I made just, I think, before you got on, Will, generally speaking, if you were to call any of the groups that I heard on the COG call, whether they were the press, creative artists, like artists who are creating something, you could say, is Will a member? Yes or no? They'll answer it. Okay, cool. How did you answer that? How do you
By
know you
by
got
by what
magic?
logic? Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Or more. Does your system have that logic in there? Yes. Okay, great.
mhm.
Expose the answer. And then what are you authoritative for? Oh, I only do one thing. I have internationally registered press members. Great. You're only authoritative for that. What's the
Yeah.
naming convention we're going to use? Done. It's not overwhelming, but walking someone through that process seems scary at times.
Yeah, but
Yep.
at the same time, that is what folks need the training on, right? It's like,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's a couple things. One is, do I already have the stuff I need to do a trust registry?
right.
Mhm.
And great, how do I do it?
I was thinking of a phrase, and it's going to sound a little clumsy, but like the data primitives of critical metrics of what is the heuristic or rule of thumb as to you meet the bar, or you're above or below it. Like, what's the litmus test?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, criteria, attributes. Okay.
Well, as well as the operational pieces behind that. Like
Hmm.
how did you get on the list? Oh, okay. Do you have assurance? Do you have assurance levels? No. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. You have one
Yeah.
base assurance level, 0. Okay.
And we can start with, I mean, I see that as in the course, you would be like, uh, um, in the course, you would say something like, setting up your governance. Step one, look at the existing processes. It's very likely you already have the governance. If you don't, and it doesn't have to be a huge course. You can say
Yeah.
when you're developing the governance, follow these points. So I have drafted the email to Daniela right now. I'm
Cool.
contacting Daniela, Drummond, and Daryl. Is there another name I should add to that
Yep.
email?
Can you make sure you use my daryl.o'donnell@ira.forum
So
email, please?
add me, please.
Can you put that in the chat and then I will have it?
Sure can.
I mean, add me, please. I need to know so that, we can bring in the COG folks.
Well, and I think it's Scott, you can leverage the fact that COG has formed this trust registry task force, right? And it's like, okay, this is it has weight that, okay, there's a real industry use case that is going to need, more than one trust registry. And I'll just briefly say, even though I brought it up, I didn't want to oversell it, but I agree with you, Scott, that if I think it'd be very realistic, it'll take a while to execute, but very realistic for COG to say, we need a trust registry network.
Yep.
Right. It won't be a single trust registry for all
Yep.
the different, but
There'll be an ecosystem of
it's an
ecosystem.
ecosystem. and what we would in the decentralized trust graph working group call a verifiable trust network. And from an IRIS standpoint, that's a subnet essentially. It is exactly the kind of thing we're looking at for first person. It's just for a different set of purposes, and it has a lot of synergy with first person. So,
Well, and I agree with all of that, but the members need to understand that better.
oh yeah, no,
They're coming in from the bottom up,
yeah,
and that's what I was suggesting to Daryl and you guys to talk about at our next meeting is that these folks are not aware of the stuff happening on the top, that this could be what we're evolving to. Will, who's got the insider's view, sees it, and I need him as a coach. But, we do need, new faces coming in and say, this is what we've been thinking of. So they can say, oh, okay, now I see where, I can see now where we need to get to so that, because right now they're fairly clueless and they're dealing with constituents that don't have any clue. I mean, less than clueless. Okay. They're dealing with in the music industry and the SAG-AFTRA, first people that are not technology, oriented. They're hurting. They don't have any solution. Okay. And they're thrashing. So I need sanity to come in and say, yes, this is something that we've worked on. It isn't, we're not developing it today. This has been a multi-year effort to come up with a structure around, with a sane way of solving not only your individual industry problem, but interoperability of multiple industries.
Yeah, and I would. I mean, I know I committed, and we got to book up the time for me to do an IRA presentation, which I would tailor to the group to say, hey, what you are is here's what you are. You need to answer the
Yeah,
following
I don't
questions.
care if it's IRA or trust.
Yeah.
It's something that people need to
Yep.
know that
Yep.
there's work out there that they can plug into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be
And
focusing on the other end, though, Scott. I'd be focusing on the business and the governance side because the people I heard talking, to your point, they know what's going on. They're
Right.
really sharp. They don't care about the tech other than
Right.
will it work?
Well, I didn't
That's
ask
it.
for the tech.
No, exactly.
I'm fine
So
with the bit. They
yeah,
need to, they're solving a business problem, and that's where
yeah,
we've been at. So
yeah.
I have to talk to Eric. I'd like to do it, by the way, even on Martin Luther King Day, because that's only US. We'll tape
What
it.
day is that?
It'll be Monday, 2 weeks
Yeah,
from last
sorry,
Monday.
what
So
day?
a week from Monday,
So that
like the
is
15th or so. I don't know. What is
the
it?
19th.
19th, yeah.
Yeah, because
And so we'll tape it so that people that miss it can come to it. I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss
yeah,
that opportunity.
yeah, yeah. You guys are international too, right? So
Yes,
okay, let's see what we can figure out. I am in Zurich that day, but
it'll
we
be
can figure
later
out
in
if
the
you.
day for you. It's 9 o'clock
Yeah.
Pacific time. It's 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay, I'm gonna hold cog.
And see if you could, let's cut it down to 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's more than enough.
Okay.
Because it's the Irish story, but flavored for them
Yeah.
with their context. So what I would want to do is make sure I get the names and players' names at least approximately correct. I like to intentionally have kind of a not a mistake, but something that needs polishing because I want them to lean in and say, "Hey, that's not quite it. It's over here." But to tell the story in their way, that IPTC, you already have the answers on who the authorities are, who are the organizations and individuals who have the following. What you need is a way to share that with the world.
Right.
Artist
So
group. Yeah.
we'll go through it, but I have a question for Will.
Yeah.
So Daryl, we talked about, yes, the IPTC would be one, and you need to do research on that. Second is music industry driven by DDEX, DDEX. And we have SAG-AFTRA, okay, the actors, all that. And then, Will, what would you consider yours and Richard Kroon? Is that a separate thing? That's a separate thing.
The media identifiers of IDER and hand are both of the same lineage to the registration authority of the DOI Foundation. Both of us in the media space, they for much longer, 16 years now. But still, we are peers in that world and operating essentially in a media space. Some would say media.
It's just another set of identifiers.
Yeah, and
to
it's a
music
it's a
and
registry.
film.
Yeah, so registry for audiovisual works and content, for the barcode for the film and TV industry, as I've the shorthand for way of saying it. That is now a non-normative reference in the COG spec, as is the hand talent identifier. And so you mentioned, going back to SAG-AFTRA for a second, our friend Eric Pasoja, who's a member of the committee there in LA, and pushing for education of the people at the top of the Actors Union. We are also in conversation, hand is, with the Producers Guild of America and the Writers Guild of America right now to talk to them about their need for identity attestations and a unique identifier for those contributors to the media ecosystem. And also, we're in conversation with the player associations for a major sports league here in the U.S. about adopting the hand identifier for their named entity resolution of the athletes in their namespace.
Right. So, Daryl, all of these could be trust registries. Because we have groups that are, and it fits into so you understand, it fits into what we're doing in COG, which is the metadata. There's certain metadata that we're not going to be responsible for governing. We expect ecosystem leaders to develop their own standards around who can affix certain metadata and how is that governed, right? So it's done through trust registry. So from a business standpoint, I think we're very consistent with what Ira's doing. Okay.
Oh, totally. It's really a question of who is going to do the work to start tying it together, and how do we, who is best to do the individual pieces of work. You just
go ahead, Daryl. Sorry,
Will. You just threw out a whole ton of different groups.
Sorry, man.
But it sounds like the common piece, one of the common pieces is the hand identity, the hand talent identifier that can be used by actors, writers, producers, players, athletes. That's a logical logical. Well, I will use a player in the ecosystem on both a technology and a governance and operations basis, right? Because the answers you would provide for writers is a different answer than you would provide for producers, but there'd be common pieces.
Yeah, we've mapped out 7 different indices of what makes talent notable. The top 2 hierarchically, Daryl, are how many databases in the world are you in today already?
Yep.
Which is a powerful metric I call it multi-vector attestation.
Totally. How'd you get in there? Why are you only in one?
Our litmus test is 5. You need to be in 5 legal entity databases to be in the hand registry, or hierarchically number 2, do you have an affiliation with some organization that will vouch for and attest to the authenticity because they have a contractual relationship with you? So at Sony Pictures, who we're in negotiations right now with, they have contractual relationships with all the actors in their database.
Yep.
Right? That's a powerful indicator of a trust signal.
And it's a powerful relationship builder for them to vouch for you.
And we do not need to see your documentation paperwork or their social security number, right?
Yep.
Because we're not paying anybody. We tokenize and proxy an identifier that is not tied to your government ID or your biometric information or any of that stuff. It's reputational from the ground up.
Right.
Which is what leads me to hang with you guys, because I know you're not big fans of biometric tracking of people, which I like.
Yes. Yes. I was going to
So
say,
I'm on.
yes,
I'm on.
when you added tracking, because we're not necessarily a non-fan of biometrics, definitely biometric tracking, not a fan.
Yeah, phone home
Yes.
and all the things we're reading about and that Utah is going against, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
But
good
knowing
reason.
it really is you and still is you is
Yeah,
business-wise quite important.
super
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Okay.
disambiguation
Yeah.
alone costs people money.
Where are you based on the planet,
I'm in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? I
Yeah.
wonder if we could have a chat early next week so I can do some thinking about this.
Okay. There's so much noise and there's so many people saying they have the perfect answer to this. And I think all of us are rightfully skeptical when people say, I've got the turnkey end-to-end solution, when we see it as a lot of
Yeah,
pieces of
but
the
if yeah, Turkey means walled garden. Come in, you'll never leave.
yes,
It's a Hotel
yes.
California.
It's that's the extractive mindset.
Exactly. Yes,
I don't
zero
want to
sum
work with
mindset.
people.
Yeah,
I don't want to work with people who have an extractive mindset on
yeah,
the dynamic with their
yeah,
the audience, their
yeah.
community.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What's
All right.
your what's the best email to reach on? Because that way I can tailor and I can also bounce the ideas
I'll
off
put it in
Scott.
the chat.
Perfect.
Carly's right. I'll put it in the chat.
So it's
I got
funny.
this.
I activated the curse, Drummond. The
Using a
curse,
curse.
which is it'll be a short call.
Ah,
Every
Ah,
single time we've done that, we've gone over to there was a period at which we had like 8 meetings in a row. I was like, damn it. Don't ever
yeah.
say it.
Well, I mean, we ended up talking about something that we didn't, and none of us anticipated, but it's the relevant
Yeah.
thing about what we got to do with
But
trust
but it's
registries now.
also but it's also one of the things that happens when we reach this point, like public review, is that it's sufficiently there. We're ready to start doing the thing. Not
Yeah,
talking about the thing. Start doing the thing.
yeah.
And that's the critical part. I'm happy that we're using and applying the implementation ideas for trustworthy query protocol in IRA, but we need more. We
Yep.
need more of them to test it, to bash it. What's the edge case, the corner case? But cool. I'll reach out to you, Will.
okay. And safe travels over to the land of Swiss cheese and back.
Well, I'll probably sorry, I fly out a week today.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'll probably talk to you before ideally I'll talk to you before I fly out
Right.
because this is good plane work for meaning airplane on the plane work to work on while I'm coming because largely speaking the IRA message is I think in line with what we're talking about but having tailored information so you can say hey I know enough about you I'm going to get it wrong but I know enough about it to sound somewhat like we're talking the right things that's really key.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing for those of you who might not be aware. HAND has two entities since April of this year, a nonprofit registry, which is a public benefit corporation that is working to create a 501c6 trade association. That's HAND, the Universal Talent Identifier is the legal name. The other is Human and Digital, which incubated that. Human and Digital is my for-profit company that does data transformation, cleansing, dedupe work, that does that kind of lifting for the studios to help them clean up their data records, their dirty data.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's good to understand at least.
And there's a lot
I
of
mean,
work, a lot of dirty data out there, as you might imagine.
well, because it wasn't used. It didn't need to be cleaned up. It didn't need to
Semi-structured,
be.
unstructured, or just dirty.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep.
cool. Oh,
Awesome.
by the way, one last thing, teaser alert. Monday, we're announcing a new chairman of the nonprofit of the hand registry.
Oh, interesting.
An industry luminary is joining us from Hollywood industry luminary, technologist,
Okay.
and also
Congrats.
a man ethically and vision aligned with us.
Oh,
So
is this someone we would recognize, or is it it's
I
a
don't
Hollywood
know
industry
if
insider?
if you're not inside the coterie and the Hollywood tech side of things, you might not know him, but you will get to know him.
Oh,
This is
good.
one of those if you know you know things that I don't know.
Well, there's
Yeah, like
I've been to their party.
Friday.
I've been to a couple of their parties. It's not my crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little too wine and cheese for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Cool.
if what you're saying,
Although I like wine and cheese.
yeah, exactly. But if what you're
It's
saying is
great.
it'll make a difference in terms of them, recognizing, having someone who's in a position to recognize the opportunity and figure out
It's
how to do
about who
it.
you know, and it's about your network. And his personal network is far bigger than mine. Oof. Yeah. Thought leader. And
Okay.
legitimately to say that there are a lot of people who claim to be thought leaders. This guy
Yeah.
is a thought leader. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think you heard me. If I don't know if you were in it yesterday. The decentralized trust graph working group, but there is a conference the day before the Linux Foundation Member Summit called the H2H Summit on Human Agency.
I read your
And
newsletters, man. I read your newsletters.
oh, go, yeah. So anyway, that's these kinds of this is what we're going to need this for, right? I love the cog use cases, the ones that especially face, the entertainment and film and video and music industry where everyone goes, oh yeah, of course we got to have a way of, protecting against, deepfakes and impersonation there.
State of
Those,
custody.
yeah, those are good. Those are good cases to be able to, there will definitely be discussion about that. We're wanting to get folks from Content Authenticity Initiative speaking there.
Yep. Good. And that's what day is that?
It's the 23rd of February.
Oh.
It's the Monday, and the LF Member Summit is the 24th and 25th.
Virtual or in person or both?
And it's all in person.
Whereabouts?
Napa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, wine and
Speaking of
cheese.
wine and
Wine and
cheese.
cheese.
It all comes back to wine and cheese.
It
Where-
does.
But there is a truck stop nearby. There's a truck stop, but I have to say the truck stop does have the nicest wine list I've ever seen. So
No Pabst Blue.
it's not quite what it sounds like.
PBR at the truck stop.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, this is quite the truck stop. No trucks, unless you consider Escalade's trucks.
Yeah, Escalades.
No cyber trucks, please. All right. If someone flies me there, I'm there.
There you go.
I'm also going through a little journey myself. I'm 1 month into a 6-month chemotherapy regimen, so I'm a little
Oh.
traveling less these days.
Yeah. Understood.
But we caught it early. Yes. So
That's good.
so they have to poison me before they let me go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fingers
But
crossed.
that's good though.
Thank you.
So, I mean, not that chemo is any fun for anyone.
I'm as advertised. Not a walk in the park.
Yes.
And my doc's like, I'm sorry you have to go through this in winter. It's cold out there.
Oh.
Enough about me. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal the conversation.
Avoid walks in the park for a while.
Well, thank
But
you for sharing.
Dress
sharing
warmly.
that.
Just gotta dress warmly.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm gonna sign off. I got
All right.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Me too.
Until next
Bye,
time.
Carly. All
Cheers.
right.
Thanks.
Talk to y'all soon. Bye.